So I just want to run through the model builder. It can be tricky, and her directions, you really do need to follow them exactly. But there are lots of different ways to do things as you are finding out. So I've created a file geodatabase called Chapter 7 Results Model so that I can separate that from the model, the results I did earlier, just to keep things from getting confusing. So I'm going to launch the model builder. I'm going to choose Save, and then I'm going to navigate to the geodatabase and add a toolbox. And then I'm going to open the toolbox and name it Snail Habitat. Set relative pathways and write some stuff about the description. Okay, so I have that. Now I can add the different elements or the geoprocessing tools that we used before. So in data management, layers and tables, I'm going to make a feature layer. And this is the same as selecting, creating a feature from your selectable units. So I'm going to start with geology. And I'm going to name it limestone. And I've done this a couple times, so I'm going to add another letter on here just to make sure I don't overwrite some of the earlier processes. And then we're just using the regular query, name equals Madison limestone, or name equals Upper Paleozoic. Okay, okay. And so there's my input, that's my query, and there is my output. I'm going to run that model, and I'm going to add it to the display. So there's my first selection. And if I turn all these things off, there's my limestone layer. So now I'm going to make my second feature, which is the vegetation. So I'm going to choose the vegetation layer. And my query, so the vegetation is going to be dense conifer, and again Model Builder 3. Oops, I forgot to put the query in there. So this is that long horrible query, cov type equals TWS, or cov type equals TPP, and like single quote star C star single quote, or stage equals 5. Can verify that. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to run. Now it's already run this piece of the model, so it's not going to run it again. It's just going to run this piece of the model. And I can do add to display. All right, so I'm going to just double check. You can pull in your primary layers to make sure these are matching up, so that's looking good. And so she doesn't ask you to do the dissolve, but I know that in the earlier data process we dissolved on the cov type. So I'm going to go ahead and do that under Data Management Generalization. I'm going to pull in the dissolve tool. So I need to dissolve the limestone dense conifer 3. No, yeah, I've got that in the wrong place. I'll fix that. And then I'm going to call it, I want it to go in here, and I'm going to call it Model Builder 3. Dense conifer dissolve Model Builder 3, and I want to dissolve on the cov type. Okay. So I'm going to move that over a little bit. So Okay, so something's wrong. This is not pulling in that. It should be pulling in the limestone. I'm pointing with my finger again. Okay, so I've got the wrong input. Oh, no I don't. Hold on. I want it to actually be down here. Ah, okay, so I'm going to go Input Feature. I want it to pull that one in. There you go. And then that guy I can delete. Okay, so here we go. I think it still would have worked, but this is a little cleaner. So now what I need to do is intersect the limestone and the dissolved dense conifer. And that is under Analysis Tools, and it's an overlay tool. So I'm going to intersect these two pieces. So I'm going to pull in the limestone B3, and I'm going to pull in the dense con dis MB3. Dense con, okay. And I'm going to call it Con Lime Model Builder. Okay, all right. And I haven't run it in a while, so maybe we should just run that now. Again, cracking is a good thing. When it says it's cracking, I know things are good. So I'm going to go ahead and say Add to Display and Add to Display. So here is my dense conifer. Now I need to do one more intersection with the snail elevation. And I'm going to pull in elevation range and the con lime. And I'm going to call it make sure it's going where I want it to go. Yep. Maybe I'll just, oh no, it's not. That's going to the default, so I want to make sure. All right, there we go. So now it's going into the results folder. All right, so now I'm going to run it. Add to display. Okay, so there is my habitat. And if I look at my total area, it should be 3222 some horrible number. Yeah, 3221. So that's the same as my original habitat, and I can double check that by adding that original habitat that I did. So there you go. That should match up with your earlier process. You would have gotten the same area had you not done the display features. So you can set it up that way so it'll automatically align. And if you want to run it again, sometimes I have to run the check, connect the tools, and then I can run it a second time if I want to, or if I want to change something. It's pretty slick, but it takes a little bit of messing around with to get all of the pieces put together.